everyone, welcome back to the deep dive. We're always talking about taking care of ourselves, right? Like what we eat, how much we work out, all that good stuff.
Right.
But what about all this stuff going on up here in our minds? It's kind of a nonstop flow of thoughts, beliefs, anxieties.
It really is. And it can be exhausting. I mean, everyone's so focused on physical health, which is great, don't get me wrong.
Of course, yeah.
Sometimes it feels like we forget about the landscape of our minds.
Exactly. And that's exactly what we're diving into today, mental detox. We're going to figure out exactly what it is, why it matters so much, and most importantly, where to even start.
I like it. A mental cleanse.
Right. So we've got some really cool perspectives to help us out here. First up, we've got Mel Schwartz. He's a psychotherapist, and he's got some really interesting things to say about, the thought patterns that we get stuck in.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And then to kind of round things out, we're also going to hear from Dr. Deepak Agrawal, who's a neurosurgeon. He brings in the whole brain science angle to this whole mental detox thing.
So we're talking psychology and neurology. Awesome.
Exactly, a full picture. So to kick things off, let's talk about these mental toxins. What are we even talking about here?
Yeah. What is a mental toxin?
Right. Well, Mel Schwartz, he talks a lot about something he calls false and limited thinking.
False and limited thinking.
Yeah. Those beliefs that kind of get lodged in our minds, sometimes without us even realizing it. I'm not good enough, nobody respects me, that kind of stuff.
I see. Yeah, we've all been there.
Right. And these beliefs, they're sneaky. They kind of act like a filter on how you see the world.
Oh, so it's not even just the thought itself, but it's how it colors everything else.
Totally. And Schwartz, he makes this point that we can almost become addicted to these negative thoughts. Yeah, they become so ingrained, they start controlling how you act, even how you see your own life story.
Wow, I hadn't thought about it like that. So what we think is really dictating our actions.
Exactly. And he has this great analogy about how these limiting thoughts are like a straitjacket.
The straitjacket, okay.
Yeah, holding you back, stopping you from being who you could be.
That's a powerful image.
Right. It makes you think, right? How many times have you not done something because of that voice in your head saying you can't?
Ugh, all the time, right?
Yeah.
It's so easy to get stuck in those patterns. So this Schwartz guy, he's all about the psychology of mental toxins. What about the neurosurgeon, Dr. Agrawal? What does he say?
Oh, yeah, Dr. Agrawal, he brings in this idea of mental clutter. It's all the stress, the worries, the negativity that we're bombarded with, especially in today's world.
Oh, yeah, the constant information overload.
Exactly. Your brain is trying to process a million things at once. It's no wonder we feel mentally drained all the time.
That's so true. So we've got the straitjacket of limiting beliefs from Schwartz, and then this mental clutter idea from Agrawal.
Right. Both of them are saying that our minds are overloaded and constricted in a way.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Both internal and external pressures kind of weighing us down.
Totally. So now here's the question. What happens when you just let all that stuff pile up?
Uh-oh, sounds like trouble.
It is. And Schwartz has this really great analogy about old vinyl records, when the needle gets stuck in a scratch.
Oh, yeah, I remember those.
Right. And the same sound plays over and over again.
Yeah, the skipping record.
Exactly. He said our thoughts can be like that, stuck in a loop, replaying the same negative messages.
Ooh, that's not good.
No, it's not.
It's
and it's not even just the thought itself. It's the feelings that come with it. Those thoughts trigger old memories, and suddenly you're back in that moment feeling all those bad emotions all over again.
So it's like re-traumatizing yourself in a way.
Kind of, yeah. And he says that this stuck in a groove phenomenon, it's basically ruled by fear.
Fear.
Yeah. You're stuck in this loop of anxiety, and it stops you from trying new things, taking risks. You're so focused on the past, you can't even see the possibilities in the present.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Fear can be so paralyzing. So the skipping record analogy is definitely a good one. What about Dr. Agrawal? Does he have any interesting imagery like that?
He does. Dr. Agrawal, he talks about the actual physical impact of all this negative thinking. He says that when you keep dwelling on negative thoughts, you actually strengthen those neural pathways in your brain.
Oh, wow. So it actually changes your brain.
It does. It's the more you think a certain way, the more your brain becomes wired for that kind of thinking.
And it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy almost.
Totally. And the thing is, it's not just happening in your head. It affects your whole body.
Really? In what way?
Well, Dr. Agrawal says all that negative thinking, it triggers your stress response.
Yeah.
So your body starts pumping out cortisol and all these stress hormones.
Oh no, the stress hormones. So it's like a physical reaction, not just mental.
Exactly. And that can lead to all sorts of problems. High blood pressure, weakened immune system, even digestive issues.
So basically all that negative thinking is literally making us sick.
It can, yeah. So now we know what these mental toxins are, and we know they're not good for us, right? But how do we actually get rid of them?
Yeah, the million-dollar question. How do we detox our minds?
Well, Schwartz, he has this really cool idea. He says, and I love this quote, "If I can't see the thought, I won't be having a thought. The thought will be having me."
Whoa. Okay, break that down for me.
So instead of just getting swept away by your thoughts, he's saying you need to take a step back and actually observe them, like become aware of them.
So detach from the thoughts, like see them as separate from yourself.
Exactly. And in that moment of observation, he says, that's where you're really thinking. You're not just reacting to your thoughts, you're actually engaging with them.
That's really interesting. So awareness is the key here.
It's a huge part of it. The problem is a lot of these thoughts, they're automatic. They just pop up without us even realizing it.
True, yeah, it's like they're on autopilot.
So Schwartz, he suggests this thing. He calls it the slow motion analogy. Like, imagine you're watching a sports replay in slow motion. You can see everything so much more clearly. Yeah.
Oh, I get it. Slow down the mental processes so you can actually see what's happening.
Exactly. He suggests, like, visualize your thoughts being written out on a TV screen. Just observe them as they come and go without judgment.
That's a cool exercise. So, okay, we're becoming aware of our thoughts, but how do we actually detox, like get rid of the bad stuff?
Well, Schwartz has this technique he calls the shh technique.
The shh technique. Okay, I'm intrigued.
So when you notice a negative thought popping up, you literally put your finger to your lips and mentally say shh to it.
Like you're silencing it.
Exactly. You're choosing not to engage with that thought.
Interesting. So it's about recognizing that you have control over which thoughts you give power to.
Yes. And he also has this tennis analogy. He says that a thought is like a tennis ball coming at you. If you see it coming, you have time to react, right?
Yeah, instead of just getting hit by it.
Right. And he says there's this tiny moment, the nanosecond, before you merge with your next thought, where you have a chance to break free from those old patterns. It's like a moment of pure potential.
Wow. Okay, I like that. So what about Dr. Agrawal? Does he have any practical tips for actually detoxing our minds?
He does. He's a big advocate for meditation.
Meditation, okay.
Yeah, focusing your mind, finding that stillness, letting go of the negative thoughts.
So quieting the mental chatter.
Exactly. And he also talks about mindfulness, which is kind of similar to Schwartz's observation technique.
Okay, remind me what mindfulness is all about.
It's about being fully present in the moment without judging your thoughts or feelings. You just observe them as they are.
Oh, so it's like accepting the thoughts without getting caught up in them.
Yes. And Dr. Agrawal also stresses the power of gratitude, like consciously focusing on the good things in your life.
Gratitude. That's a good one. Focusing on the positive.
Right. And he also talks about the importance of taking care of your physical health, like regular exercise.
Exercise, of course, good for the body and the mind.
Exactly. It releases endorphins, reduces stress, helps you sleep better. And speaking of sleep, Dr. Agrawal says getting enough sleep is crucial.
I know I don't function well without enough sleep. What does he say about it?
He says sleep is when your brain does its own natural detoxing, like it clears out all the junk that's built up during the day.
Oh, so it's like hitting the reset button for your brain.
Totally. And then there's diet.
Diet, of course. What should we be eating for optimal mental health?
He recommends a balanced diet, lots of whole foods, and cutting back on processed stuff, sugar, and too much caffeine.
Okay, so healthy body, healthy mind.
Exactly. And he also talks about your environment. Like, decluttering your physical space can actually help declutter your mind.
Oh, that's interesting. A clean space equals a clear mind.
It can, yeah. And surrounding yourself with positive people is important too.
Yeah, good vibes only.
Exactly. But, you know, he also acknowledges that mental detox, it's not always easy.
It's probably not a quick fix, right?
No, it's a journey. He says there can be resistance to change. Those negative thoughts might keep coming back, and it might feel overwhelming at times.
That makes sense. Old habits die hard. What does he suggest for dealing with those challenges?
Patience, for one thing. This is about retraining your mind, and that takes time.
Patience, okay. Anything else?
He says to accept those negative thoughts when they come up. It's normal. The important thing is how you respond to them.
So acknowledge them, but don't let them take over.
Exactly. And small steps, consistency, and most importantly, self-compassion. Be kind to yourself.
Self-compassion. I like that. So it's about the journey, not the destination.
Totally. And this brings us to a really powerful point that Schwartz makes. He says, the most important relationship you will ever have isn't with your parents, your children, or your partners. It is with your thoughts.
Wow, that's a powerful statement. So our relationship with our own thoughts is the most important one.
He says it is, and he's right. I mean, our thoughts are with us constantly, shaping our experiences, influencing our actions.
It's true. They're always there in the background. So if we can get that relationship right, it can have a ripple effect on everything else.
Absolutely. And Dr. Agrawal sums it up really well. He says that mental detox can lead to better mental health, stronger relationships, increased productivity, greater self-awareness, just overall well-being.
Sounds like a pretty good return on investment.
Right. So, as we wrap up this deep dive, the big takeaway here is that mental detox is all about becoming aware of your thoughts and learning to manage them so you can live a happier, healthier life.
So it's an ongoing process, not a one-time thing.
Exactly. It's about nurturing your mind.
I like that. Nurturing your mind.
And here's a question for you to think about. What are those thoughts that are holding you back? Are you stuck in a groove, replaying the same negative messages? What can you do to start shifting those patterns?
It's a good question to ask yourself. And remember, you don't have to go it alone. There are so many great resources out there.
Totally. Books, apps, podcasts, like Eckhart Tolle's The Power of Now is a classic.
And there's the Mindful Way workbook. That's a good one.
And for apps, there's Calm, which is really popular.
And if you like podcasts, check out 10% Happier with Dan Harris.
There's so much out there. Just find what works for you.
Exactly. And remember, you have the power to change your mind, to create a more positive and fulfilling inner world.
Absolutely. Take care of your mind, and it will take care of you.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Thanks for listening, everyone.
Thanks for joining us on the Deep Dive.